Welcome to episode 8 of Word to Your Mama, but episode 02 of Relatives. That's right. If you go back and listen to episode 4, I believe, but it's Relative 01, where my relative Nyysha and I start from the beginning of our journey. And every episode, once a month or so, we're going to try to start where we left off, and then kind of go from there, but tell our crazy stories that everyone says it's like a movie, blah, 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 blah. That's just kind of get you caught up. This episode, we get into when I get jumped on our way to see Menace to Society, how Nyysha had people duped, thinking she could dance, and she could do sports, how hood life, was introduced to us and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get it started. Relatives 02.
But
a little. I don't like Guinness. It's
I love
dark.
Guinness.
Ugh.
Yes, porters are like dark, stout.
I don't like beer in general.
I love.
Yeah, only like if it's a michelada or something like that, because then it's tasty, it's flavorful. But
And
yeah,
it's
I don't
getting-
like beers. But I had an apple, like a cider, like an
Fire.
apple.
That shit is.
It tasted good, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna do me well. Like I don't do well with wines. I don't do well
Malt
with
liquor.
beers. Just Jameson. That's it.
Jameson, baby.
That's it. That's all. It's it does. But you know what? During the pandemic, dude, I haven't even been drinking that much.
Fact.
Like I haven't been drinking that much because I was like, you know what? I need to be
Where?
I gotta be sharp. I gotta be like.
Cool.
I gotta be like, you never know. Like, you never know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like, then I'll be bloated and allergies. And I was just like, it's weird. Like, I've been like, maybe I'll have a sip here, special occasion. I don't know. But I got like the longest I've ever had like 2 bottles of Jamie just chilling. I think I have like, I think they're like full and shit. And I'm just like, maybe this weekend I'll have a little bit, but nah, no.
And plus, it's just like we're getting older, so we just drink occasionally.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't pandemic, I'd be drinking probably more. Like, I love
really?
Jameson. Like, I love drinking, I don't, but it would be like, because I see people, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe on the weekend, or I don't know, something like that. Or like, say like, I'm doing a Zoom with the homies, maybe, something like that. But like, just like one drink or something like that. But a mix, either straight on the rocks or, So anyways.
I like pickleback.
The pickleback is the move.
That's where it's at.
So please believe it. I do have a jar of pickle juice ready to roll when I'm ready. What
kind of
at the
pickle juice,
ready? What I really like, but it burns people is they don't make them anymore. Trader Joe's, the spicy pickles that they don't have them. They haven't had them in like mad months.
Probably.
But that one, it burns because it's super spicy. But it's super good.
That.
But just dill pickles, like just the dills.
I like the Mount Olive. It's called Mount Olive hamburger pickles.
That's the ones I have.
Yes, that's the best right
Those
there.
are like the real deal. Now Vlasics are good too in a pinch, but I just got put up on these because I was like
Mount
looking
Olive?
for some. Yeah, I wasn't knowing.
Yeah,
Mount
so
Olive.
whenever you can find, like maybe Ralph's will have I don't know if they have BOGOs there. Like we have Publix, the store, and they have buy one, get one. So whenever they have buy one, get ones, I get them just for the juice. And I just save the pickles in another jar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I was like, I've never got this brand, but I'm going to try these. That's hilarious. That's the juice I have. Yeah. So basically, if you don't already know, we're full blown into this, kids. We're talking about it. This is real. This is real. We told you it was going to be real.
I ain't even know, but hey, here we go.
This is real. This is real.
do
Picklebacks, Jameson, and beers and shit. Thank you for joining us again this is Relatives 02. And I figured like we're going to be all over the place, but I figured that we would try to stay in chronological order, at least from jump, right? And then we would, see where it lands, like wherever it happens.
Yes.
So just because it was your first time, you got a mic and everything for this thing, and
got a mic, got a light, your girl got it all. I'm here. I'm ready.
So
full blown.
How was it hearing yourself? The first time you heard it.
First 2 minutes, weird. But then after that, it's like, damn, I got a deep ass voice. Do I sound like this to people? But whatever. Yeah, I do.
Hilarious. I'm excited to see who else is going to be tuning in, because we've been posting this. And you post it on Facebook. You got mad friends from like back in high school days that are from this time that we're talking about, that we'll be discussing. So It's interesting to see like, what they say or whatever. But just on the strength of just Dago, 619 stories, I saw Uncle Mr. D. He's from North County. So like Del Mar, so like up there, like Richie Rich, right?
The uppities.
So I was remembering. So I was telling him, I was like, remember that one time? He's like, I listened to, Kohler, because that's family. We're all family. He's like, and then I listened to you and Nyysha, and I was like, yeah. And then he's like, yeah, it's very interesting. He's like, for being from San Diego, I like hearing like another side of San Diego. And I was like, oh, the hood side.
You don't know that life.
and then I remember this was like way before Supernatural Bear was born, but it was me, James, Filipino James, Mr. D's, Filipino James. It was me, him. This is how old it was. For the trip, we all made mixes on our iPods for the road trip from LA to San Diego. That's how long ago this shit was. iPods, kids, look them up. Look them up.
MP3s, iPods.
But for those of you that are, from San Diego, so when we passed by Chicano Park, I was like, oh, it's my turn. And I put some like lowrider shit. I passed by Chicano Park.
Yes. Hilarious.
But it was me. His name is James, but he's Filipino. I call him. And then Mr. D. And Mr. D is just, a white kid. But Mr. D used to throw like, we didn't know him back then, but he's like, oh yeah, no, I used to throw like raves and shit. And I used to like empty like parking lots. I used to throw like these dope at raves and shit like that.
Only if we knew. Only if we knew.
We would be the only two brown people probably. So anyways, we were like driving down with him. We're like, I don't know why we went down to San Diego, but we're like, let's take you to our hood. Because James is from our hood, right? So he knew Oasis. Right. We're like, oh, we got to take you to Oasis. Yeah, if you guys aren't knowing, if you guys are in San Diego, it's still around. Oasis. It's an ice cream parlor, Mexican ice cream. And sure, you got a Mexican hood in your town, and sure, they make, the agua y de leche and all that shit. But they don't make that shit like this, right, Nye? They don't make that shit like
this.
Just
like tacos. They don't make them like this.
They don't make them like this. So anyways, it's in Pearl Beach. You go to Oasis. So you go to Oasis, you go to San Diego. In this part of San Diego, it's majority, I don't know what it is now, but at the time, majority Mexicans and Filipinos.
Yes.
And a lot of like, a lot of people, in the Navy or for whatever reason.
Military, for sure.
Military. But this little strip, it was a little strip mall. And so we take him, he's like, we're passing down East Street on the freeway. He's like, oh, I never gone south of East Street.
Scared.
Because he started getting like a little scared. And then we go to Oasis and we hook, we get him. I was like, 1 scoop of strawberry, 2 scoops of lime. I got you. Yeah. So we get all that shit and we're like, And then, on one end is Oasis, hella Mexican. And on the other is that Filipino store. Remember? That Filipino store.
Bread.
Yeah, the pan de sal and all that shit like that, right? So in between the Mexican ice cream and the Filipino store is that water machine to get to fill up your jugs and stuff. Yeah. So we're walking, right? And then all of a sudden, a Mexican chick and a Filipino dude start going at it, fighting, calling all kinds of racial slurs. And me and James, this is our hood. Like, we're from the hood. And so we're like, we're like, this is entertainment. It's on. And Mr. D's like looking shook. He was like, can we go, guys? He was like so scared.
Back to La Jolla you go. So
yeah,
funny.
it's so interesting. Like just one episode in, and people are thank you so much for listening, and just like we want to hear San Diego memories, any memories you have of us, because I was thinking
We
like
can't remember.
no, but also like on the real, as I'm editing, right, and so I had to listen to this shit over and over again. And I was like, man, we sound some bitches. Yeah, everybody was trying to bite our style.
But it was facts. It's facts.
It was facts. But what if someone was like, I remember seeing you bitches and I didn't know you guys and you guys were fucking idiots.
Yeah, we know you existed. Where were you? Who did you hang out with?
We thought you guys looked like clowns with your orange hoodie.
No, we know better because we set the pace and everybody started jumping on that shit. So
that's real. We don't do that. Like, I mean, I don't think we do that, but literally people kept asking us, right? That's why we have these stories. Because it was like, where'd you get that?
For sure.
So that's hilarious. So anyways, I wanted to, we talked a little bit about how we met. It was in junior high, which is now known as middle school. Mr. Reveal. So go back and listen to 01, Relative 01. But and then we kind of stopped the stories and then went into getting to know you by asking you the not so rapid fire questions. That's what I call them now. The not so rapid, the slow as hell questions. But I wanted to see really like at that time when we met, you gave a little observation as far as like, I was like, you peeped us and saw that we were doing the collage, like letters and stuff like that back and forth. And then when we started getting to know each other, I want to know and share whatever you feel comfortable with. What was going on at that time in your life, like home life, family life? Because I think it's interesting because we met each other, but you're kids, like we're not meeting each other and from jump be like, yo, my shit's fucked up. Like that's not from jump, Right. And there's, like I said, like before, there's some things that there's some things that we didn't know till later, but there's also things that, just first impressions, like what I thought, at that time, I don't know, you're just not thinking about other people's home. You're just thinking about your own fucking fucked up shit, So what was why did they take you? Why did they take you out of private Catholic school?
Private school? So it was the end of that school because I had went to that school since kindergarten. So from kindergarten to 8th grade, that was it. And then it was like a point where it's like, okay, we gonna pay for her to go to high school or whatever. But actually, I was gonna go to private high school, but then I begged and begged to go to regular school, like to middle school, junior high, a public school. So it was like a trial basis. So I was like, they were like, oh, hey, well, my mom. So it was just me and my mom because all my brothers and sisters are older. And it was basically like I was the only child. So brothers and sisters older, my mom and I moved to South Bay from Southeast after my 8th grade year. So I don't know if it was the summer, maybe it was the summer, or maybe it was like the end of my 8th grade year. Can't really remember. So then it was like, okay, we go on to South Bay, which is 2 exits away from Mexico. And so that was just the whole dynamic of it. I guess my mom was pretty much downsizing.
Yeah, probably.
And yeah, so then it was the trial and basically like, you better do good because you're doing good over here in private school. If you're not, we're going to snatch you out and put you back in private school. So, hey, I got there. I was like, I got to do good. But then when I got there, I was like, the hell, this shit is easy. It was easy for me because what I was learning in 9th grade, I already had learned like in 6th, 7th grade. So it was real lax except for that damn geometry class,
Right.
My boy tried to kill me. So everything else was cool. English, science, so everything else was super cool. But that damn Mr. Reveal. So anywho, my home life, it was just me and my mom.
Yeah.
I can't really say it was fucked up. because it was just her and I.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just like, okay, brothers and sisters gone, so we gonna move. And I liked it better because we moved from like a 4-bedroom house to like a 2-bedroom townhouse.
Yeah.
And that's just how it was after that. Because like I said, everybody's older. So then I kind of had like another set of parents, Dee and Dewana.
Yes.
So they're just kind of like a set of parents growing up.
And at that time, did they already live down where they lived? Down our way?
I think so. In that
Tennessee. Same house?
Same house. And they still have that house. Yes. So same house. Because that was their first buy, you know. So yeah, I think they did live down there. I can't remember, but I think so.
What's the age difference between you and Dewana?
Let's see. Maybe 13 years.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I'm 47. Well, I'll be 47. So we'll just add 10 onto that. And an extra. Yeah. I don't know. Like, you know, my sister looks good. So
she looks really good.
Right. Maybe she's 60. But I don't know.
She looks good. She looks really good. And Dee and Dewana just became like instant family, and I love Dee so much. And every time I think of Dee, I think of what you know good.
What you know good? Bones. What's up? So it's all about like Dee is my brother-in-law / dad / dad.
Yeah.
And dad again. Yeah.
Always looking out. And he's originally from the South, right?
The ATL.
ATL. No wonder. Yes.
Country ass. That's what it is.
It's the best. It's the best. Love, nothing but love. To Dee.
Of course, we didn't know that. We didn't know nothing but love back then. We're just thinking fussing. But, you know, he set me up for greatness, for sure.
Yeah, so for sure.
Shout out to uncle, brother, daddy, cousin. I don't know, whatever he is. You know, I love the guy. For sure.
Yeah, that's real. That's really real. And I think that's interesting, especially, I mean, you're done, not done, but, you know,
them kids are gone.
The kids are gone, and I'm in it, but it's like a whole new
chapter.
Staying competitive in these dynamic times means having the right technology at work for your small or medium-sized business. Whether your goal is to grow, downsize, or modernize, Panoply BPO provides the right combination of tools, support, and affordability necessary to make it a reality. Visit panoplybpo.com. That's PANOPLYBPO.com to schedule your no-obligation consultation today. Mention WTYM and get your 13th month of service for free. PanoplyBPO.com. There is a better way. No, but it's a whole new, like, to look back and think of those times when you were like, why is everybody always fussing? And you think you know everything. Yes. And you think, like, I'm invincible and fuck these people and da-da-da. They're old and da-da-da-da-da. And now it's just like, no. I get it now. Like, you appreciate because of all the shit that was happening. But, yeah, Dean Molding,
they were molding you back then. And guess who I act like? Dee. It's crazy because sometimes I find myself saying things, doing things, and I'm like, is this Dee like surfacing? What's happening right now? So yeah, that's my dude. That's my dude for real.
So what needs to happen, especially after the pandemic, is that Dee and Dewana finally have to meet Miocito, who I will say is my husband. I hate saying that word.
Comedy. That dude. Not the sound effect. Oh my god.
So to like if we're like giving each other a hard time or whatever, and just to break each other's balls, he'll be like something wife. I go, I'm a whatever husband. Like it's like a bass. It's like a bass. So anyways, Miocito, like we were supposed to meet when Mariana graduated from college, But Miocito, who rarely got sick, got hella sick and couldn't come. So he didn't get to meet him, but the supernatural bear did, and D kept fucking up his name.
Kanawa? Yeah.
He'd go over there and be like, what you know good? Put his hand on his hair and be like, kawaii.
Kawaii.
He would just like trail off and just be all breathy. He'd be like, kawaii.
That's that country. That's that country in him.
Good, man. So good. Yeah. So like when I met you, like I met you, and I don't think I was in honor classes. I think I had just got out or was about to get out of the honor classes. So it was just my whole life since, I don't know, elementary school.
Grade?
We had since before was shit. It was like I hated that place. I hated Ephraim, my little brother, was already born, right? When you came around?
I think when I met you, he was maybe
he was already born.
like
I was
4 or 5.
Oh yeah. You're right, because I'm 8 years older, so he was already born. But so his dad, who I never claimed, he never claimed me, whatever. I hated him, and so it was since before he was born, since we moved in there, I hated it. So like my home life fucking sucked, and I went from like being a super nice, nerdy kid to junior high, because I was advanced, I got into the honors classes, and then I was like, I don't want to be with these fucking nerds.
Right, this ain't my stilo. Like, nah.
I was like, we're the regular people. This sucks. And I rebelled. So like I was the one that talked a lot of shit in class. Like I was like, I don't know what I was becoming. I was just pissed at the world. So I was taking it out on whatever I could. So in honors classes, in junior high, you have 6 periods? 6 periods? 6, 7 periods? I forgot. It's been a long ass time. So you have 6 periods. You travel. So sometimes you have 1 or 2 people in different classes throughout the day. But for the most part, it's a whole new group of kids every class, right? But for honors class, we had each other all the fucking time for almost all the classes. And I was like, this sucks. And we had extra work and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I don't got time for that. So I remember I was crying to my mom, and I was like, I need to get out. And she doesn't know. She's an immigrant. She doesn't know that this is going to set me up to enter college, like further advanced, like already on, like, because once you're in honors classes, you go to high school, you take the AP classes, and then boom, you can start, with a grip of credit, with some credits already. Like she didn't know that she's new to the country. She barely speak English. Like she ain't knowing all that shit. She just, it's that, the lot of things I've been seeing online right now. It's like, shout out to the kids, to you when you were little, trying to translate adult shit to your immigrant parents. Like sure. Legal shit and stuff like that. So like my mom just went on whatever I said. So I told her, no, it's not good. It's not good. Like, take me out. And I'm crying. Like I'm doing all the waterworks. Right. Like, like it wasn't that serious, but I'm giving it all the extras. And then she, to take me out is, you have to fill out a grip of paper, because people are like, why are you doing that? So she didn't know. And then, so anyway, so that was happening. So at the same time, you come into the scene. So I'm already in like this transition of fucking up. Like the last episode, I was like ditching and smoking weed, which probably oregano out of the shit, and Thunderbird and Kool-Aid, and like just trash shit.
Oregano out of apples.
Just like trash shit, and just because I just hated being home, I hated being stuck. I hated all that shit. And so I was just kind of in a space. But I will say that the things that were happening, and then you come along, and then like you were always back then, and it'll be funny to anyone that knows you now, you were like always like super innocent.
I was quiet. Like when I tell people now, like, oh, I'm kind of still shy, or I was shy, they're like, what?
No, she was. You were hella like, you were like goody two shoes. Like it was like me doing the bad shit and me trying to like bring you into the dark side. Like it was like you were like super sweet, super nice and innocent, But at the same time, you're introducing me to hella hood shit.
Because I was getting introduced to the same shit that I was introducing you to. I'm like, somebody got to come with me. Fuck this. So, I'm going to my grandma's house because that's the hood shit, like my
Southeast San
grandma.
Diego hood shit.
My grandmother lived on the set, like Pyru blood on the set, like prime time. Everybody that passed by my grandma's house, they gonna toss up the set.
They gonna toss
crazy.
up the set. So Nyysha taught me that shit.
Yes.
Nyysha taught me that shit. And then how far was the tracks? Remember it like separated the two hoods?
Yes. And so where she lived was it wasn't that far, which we call Four Corners. Okay. So the Four Corners is where two sets meet on Four Corners at an intersection. So I think that's Euclid and Imperial. Mm-hmm. And that's where they met. So my grandmother she lived right off of Skyline, like the beginning of Skyline.
Skyline?
Skyline blood, that shit.
I just vaguely remember passing by, and every time you were like, okay, when we pass the tracks, you have to go Skyline.
I got to toss them up when you go on the tracks. Boo boo. Yeah, I still do that to this day, even in country ass Florida. Got to toss them up. I'm making everybody toss up the set. Whatever set you want to toss up, toss it up. Comedy. Old school shit that sticks with you.
It always like it just gets into you, and you'll never forget that shit. And one thing I will say is that, and we had this conversation on the other episode with Lilian and Elisa, the Nabi Productions, and I think we'll always touch upon it. Is like we grew up in a certain way in certain environments where it was like doggy dog world, survival of the fittest, like literally survival at times, like literally survival.
So much shit molded us.
And so we're aware, like we just like any environment, we're just like, oh, you're too close. Oh, you better back up. Like what's happening over here?
I was just talking about that today. It's like you got to be aware of your surroundings, but you know what molded us by far? The trolley. The trolley. We got to catch public transportation, the bus, San Diego Transit, and a trolley. Yo,
we were on missions.
We were killing it. What, a bus pass? That's what we had.
We were getting the most and beyond out of that bus pass, because that bus pass was for the bus and the trolley. And people aren't knowing San Diego has a trolley. Like it's like the overground subway, and it went everywhere.
At the time and it was crazy because it was like built before our eyes. And it was perfect for those of us who didn't have a car. I didn't drive. You drove before I drove. So, but it was still good. It's like, hey, I was just telling somebody about this the other day. Like, oh, me and my girl used to catch a trolley. Like, hey, what time are you going to be there? I don't know, but I'm going to be on the last cart. If you're there before me, just wait for the last door to open. When the last door open, I stick my head out, bitch, jump on. Are we even buying the ticket? If we don't have our pass, are we buying a ticket? Yeah, but I'm gonna look out for the people if we got to get on. Like, yeah.
It gave you know what it gave us? It gave us life skills, and I think that that's like something that I think the kid, our friends that grew up in New York and like big cities like that, like you were young and you were just out roaming the streets because it was a different time. You know what I'm saying? It was like everybody was roaming, and if you were roaming your neighborhood, but especially if you're roaming like with public transit. It just made you aware of so many things, and it built all these skills, right? But at the same time, it's like, how do you instill that without traumatizing your kids and making them live in the hood with your kids? Like, I'm always like, with a supernatural, but like, behold, be aware. Like, it doesn't matter, like, at home, school, whatever. Like, be aware of your surroundings. Read the room. I was like, read the room, mijo. I was like, I got headphones on, I'm typing, and I have food on the stove. Is this the time you want to show me some stuff that's that important? Like, read the room.
Watch my food, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, read the room. Like, all these skills that I learned. Like, I think about this, Nyysha.
You learned on your own, not your parents.
You learned on your own. Because my mom she was trying to survive her shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was like you learn by doing. and depending on what kind of person you were, like I think you're born a certain way and then it's either your environment and it contribute a lot. But I feel you and I, and a lot of people who I'm still really close with or that I'm close with now, I think we have a similar thing within us that I think no matter what environment, no matter what family we would have been born into, we would have like persevered and made it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel that. Like I feel that in my bones. Like we've been here before. We're like a little bit old souls. And
We're
it's
intuitive.
just
like we know that
hella intuitive, you know? And so that's that one thing. It's hilarious, like trying to, you know. But please believe it, as soon as he's a little bit older, he's going to know all these fucking stories. Like be lucky, little man. Like, be lucky. But also, what I want to say, speaking of the trolley and stuff, I was telling the Supernatural Bear, I was like, where I lived right next to the trolley tracks. Remember that shit? Every 15 fucking minutes. And I remember when they were building that shit.
But I was telling somebody about this too. It's like, my girl lived right there. Like, we just got used to it. I don't know. It's crazy. You don't even hear that shit anymore.
But now I'm sure it would drive me fucking crazy. Because like it was a crossing. Ding, 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 ding.
Right outside the window.
Of my window too. Like I was the one, my room was in the front. So like, that was crazy.
Yeah. Who's to say? That's just like insane. I don't know, but we made it through.
So I'm going to jump a little bit because I think it's very appropriate. You know Anna.
Yes.
Our niece. It's really Aaron's niece, but it's our niece. So this is our second year at UCLA. Neuroscience. She's from the Bay, but you know, she moved down for her second year at UCLA, and she was in the dorms the year before, and this year she's in an apartment. But none of her roommates were coming in because of all the fires, and school hadn't started yet. So she was going to be in the apartment all by herself. So I was like, yo, let's watch some movies online with with Aaron up in the Bay, Anna at UCLA, and me over here in Palm Springs. So we'll like watch movies. So the first movie we watched Fear with Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon. We watched that. And then last weekend, not this last week, but last weekend, Aaron was like, oh, yo, I know our next movie, Menace to Society.
I was going to say Higher Learning. Oh, man.
Menace to Society, because it's on Netflix. So we watched the movie, and she was like, she had already seen Boys in the Hood. And she was like, at the end, she was like, this is giving me like Boys in the Hood vibes. I was like, just wait. And then she's like, why'd you guys make me watch this? It's so depressing. You know, I would answer shit like that. And when we were talking about the movie, I sent a little emojis where I'm going, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, like Sophia. So anyway, so after the movie, I tell her, I go, also with this movie, Nyysha, remember? Me, you, Jennifer, 2 other people driving on 54th. I think it's 54th Ave, on our way to the movie theater in the hood to buy tickets. Right? To buy tickets to early tickets for that first. It was that Friday. I think it was a Friday, and Menace to Society was going out. Everybody was hyped about it. So we're in a little bucket.
Corolla, the
brown Corolla, a two-door little bucket. Jennifer, she's a fucking character. I lost all respect for her that day, but she's half British. No, she's British, but she's half. What was that?
Virgin Islands.
Yeah, so she's half black and white, but they're British. Virgin Islands, and then her mom's just like British, right? White British. And so she was hella scary, but then she got in some fucked up people. She was doing hood shit. So she started hanging out with us, right? And then so we were going to go, let's go buy the tickets. That bitch was driving. So before we get there, we park on the side to go to the liquor store up the street. And when we park, we see that fucking bitch. Remember, she was dating your dude after you.
My dude.
That white dude.
When we were dancing slow motion. I can't think of it.
What was his name? Remember? My love.
Whoa.
Okay, so this goes back to the trolley. These motherfuckers, I don't know where we met them, but they live hella fucking far.
La Mesa.
They lived in La Mesa. And you said, remember, we lived 2 exits away from the border. They lived in La Mesa, which was northeast, like deep east. So we went, and Nyysha would say she'd spend the night at my place, which is also kind of weird because no one spent the night at my place. And then I would say I'd spend the night with you. But we had our bag and we went to La Mesa on like
for the weekend.
For the weekend.
For the weekend.
We were in high school. We went for the weekend and stayed at this place with like 5 dudes.
Adultish guys.
And you're with the white dude. And they had like recording studio. And
I can't think of his name. Oh my God.
I can't think of his name either. Mike? No. So anyway, some white dude. But it was a white dude and he hung around like all the black dudes. And I'm on somewhere, there's some tape of us making noises and singing that song. And then we had to go to the store and we didn't have food, so we stole steaks.
We didn't have no money.
We didn't have any money, so we went and we stole steaks and all kinds of meats.
We stole steak, and I think we stole sanitary napkins or something like that. And yeah, like, bitch, go home. You got your shit at home. We were doing
the most, and we're fucking like, there's so many stories that we're going to tell on this podcast that we were lucky that nothing fucking happened to us. We're lucky to be alive.
We're lucky to be alive, for sure.
We were young little bitches, fast little bitches.
I feel like we wasn't fast though, but
you know, you're real. You're right. We didn't fuck anybody at this time.
We wasn't doing all that shit. We wasn't doing drugs,
but we were lying and stealing and staying with a bunch of dudes and stealing meats.
Grown ass men.
Grown ass men stealing meats, and grown ass men with no money that we had to still help them steal meats.
They the fucking meat.
So anyways, you're with the white dude. And what is that bitch's name? So anyways, we're parked outside, about to go we just parked the car. We're about to get out to go to the liquor store. And then that bitch passes by going the opposite way on 54th. And then they're at a stop at a red light, and we were just yelling, "Fuck you, fucking bitch!" Da-da-da-da. And she's with her hood ass cousin. Remember, she had the dookie braids.
The girl, yes.
Right? Her cousin, right? And she looked like she was mixed too. So anyway, so all this beef was really between you and her because of that white dude, right? But we're all saying all kinds of shit. So then we think they just roll off, and it was just one of those things where you just say a bunch of shit. So you and the rest of the chicks go into the liquor store, but I'm in the back seat. Jennifer's scary ass is in the front seat. And then those 2 bitches roll up and park behind us. The girl that we're yelling at that we know that we don't like, she stays in the car, but her big ass dookie braid having cousin comes out and she's yelling at me at the window, and she's like, "Fucking bitch, you better come out here." And I was like, oh God, I can't stay in the car because then I look like a punk. And I was like, I look on the ground and I see that there's that, remember Jen had that bat or like piece of wood in the back?
Yes.
And I was like, okay, she's scary, but she got a bat. Like, she got me, right? And I was like, shit, I'm in the back seat. So when I get out of the car, the other side is
swinging on holes.
Hella traffic, right? But I was like, when I'm in the back seat and when I get out, there's no easy way to get out of the back seat of a 2-door. So I got to put my head down. Dude, it was a wrap. That bitch grabbed me and just started wailing on me. And then the other bitch comes out, and then they start, I'm getting jumped on 54th Street.
And University.
On her way to get tickets to Menace Society. So I was telling Anna, I was like, she was fucking me up. I was like, and then that other bitch tries to come out like, yeah, bitch. And I was just like, somehow I got my bearings. And then when I started like kind of standing and I could see them, you guys came out having no idea what was happening. And I remember seeing you guys, and you guys started running.
Like towards you,
like, hey. And then those bitches stopped. And then I remember I was like, Jen, like, what the fuck? Like, you had a bat.
She was standing there.
I think she was just in the car. I don't think she ever got out of the car.
Man.
Fucking bitch. Since then, I was just like, fuck that bitch, scary ass bitch. I was like, how you gonna let your one big ass girl beat your friend up, and then another whack ass little girl come and like she's getting jumped?
Man, all these jumping stories, I can't even wait.
but The minimum she could have done was
at least fight.
No. You know what? I wouldn't even, I know she's super scary and I know she prissy and I know she was just getting into hood life, like trying to enter hood life. The minimum you could have done, because you're on the driver's side, is get out and run and tell all the homies in the liquor store. The minimum.
The young shit.
Honk the horn? Something?
Burn.
Like, bitches, like something. I don't know. Yell.
Yo.
That's the minimum.
Crazy. Because I just remember all of this as you're telling me. Like, that's crazy. It's your memory, but I didn't remember that until just now. Like, oh, snap.
So you remember coming out and seeing that I was getting beat the fuck up?
But I hate it because it's over and then it's nothing you can do. It's like, what the fuck?
And the scary ass bitches run away. And the good thing, though, I was telling Anna, I was like, the good thing is that she was beating me with my head down. I was like, so I was bleeding, but I had bumpy lumps on my head, on the back of my head.
You was bleeding?
I was bleeding. That big girl was fucking me up. If it was a blessing that I was in the back and I came out the way I did, like, you know how you come out, you had to go under the fucking seatbelt. It saved my face. It saved my face because that bitch was going on me hard, and if she would have done that to my face, I would have looked so fucking toe up.
Lumpity lump. Oh
yeah, that's what my head was. Lumpity lump.
I don't even remember that shit. That's wild. That is so wild. The shit we used to do. Kids don't do this shit.
So every time I see or I think of Menace to Society, I think of getting jumped on 54th Avenue in University.
Not no more. We ain't gonna get jumped no more.
I better fucking not get jumped anymore, dude. Too old for that shit.
We too old for that shit, but we will still fuck you up. Facts.
Please.
Facts. We don't play. We don't start fights. We don't get into fights, but
nah. But don't press. Do not press.
Don't come for us because we know things.
So yeah. So that's a little bit of that background, and how you see the progression. Introduction to hood life, and then living that hood life, and
it's like we had 3 different kind of lives. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hood life, school life, some other life. I don't know. But
yeah, it's true.
But it's good. Like, it molded us.
I think it made us well-rounded. And I think that's why you and we were able to, we'll talk about later, but like how I ended up going to your school, but even any school, even in junior high, we floated. I call us floaters because we could get along with,
everybody.
All the little cliques and groups because we had so many different interests. And, it was a little bit, if we got to be hood life, we're over here. If we got to be
what's up.
Dancers over here, if you
know what's up.
You didn't know what was up, Nye. Don't even try to play on these people. You did not know what was up, Nyysha.
I know dance life, I know hood life, I know white life, I know black life, I know Mexican life, I know all these life. Shit. Feel like, hey, remember that time I went to I think it was Jason Joseph's house, and I started pressing the rice machine. He was like, "Bruh, my mom's gonna be mad. You're pressing the rice out." I was like, okay. I just learned about Pinoy life. Bam, I'm there.
Pinoy life. No, but before we wrap it up for this session, let me just say that Nyysha had everybody fucking fooled. Like, everybody fooled. She didn't work out for shit, but she was like cut as fuck. Like, still to this day, look at this bitch is showing me her guns. Cut as fuck. She was like super slim and just like blah, 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 blah. And then her legs, calves, blah, 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 blah. But she was asthmatic as fuck, as we talked about last fucking episode.
Lazy as fuck.
So we and she can't dance for shit, right? She barely can dance now, but back then, for shit. And so we when we transferred high schools, I was there when the black track coach tried to come up to you and try to recruit you for fucking track.
Hey, yo, you look like you can run. I don't know what he said, but
yeah,
no, I'm not gonna.
he was like really all of he was probably looking you up and down and like, oh, look at this fine specimen of a young black woman, just super cut. She looks like she runs and she works out and stuff, not knowing she didn't do fucking shit, and then not knowing you were asthmatic as fuck.
All I did was walk home from school. That's it. Bitch didn't get a ride. I walked home every day. But yeah. And still to this day, I'm getting the same shit. People at work, excuse me, ma'am, do you work out? I'm like, who are you? Like, I'm damn near 50, and you asking me if what did I do in high school? Weirdo. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh my God. Good
Fun time.
Before we leave, a new question that I've added to the not so rapid fire questions, and I'm going to mix it up because I know people that are coming on will listen and they think they got it down. But one question I wanted to ask you that I asked the last 2 episodes that are going to be, I think they've already aired when people are listening to this one, but what's a song that you listen to that when you need to get hyped?
Oh, when I get hyped, like, this is our song as well. When we went to New York and DMX. What's my motherfucking name? We going, bro. That shit is so hype. Every time I hear that.
It's still hard.
It brings me back to New York City. We get off the airplane. We going to the Boricua Festival. We going to the Puerto Rican Day Parade. We don't know shit.
No sleep having red eye from the Bay.
No sleep till Brooklyn. No fucking sleep. Like
me, you, my rib, Aaron. First time, 1999. First time in New York. We're gonna have just an episode on New York because that's a whole nother fucking experience. Let me just preface it. Give you a little tidbit of teaser. We almost got kidnapped.
Oh, I could have got killed 3 times over.
And then we didn't know till after the fact. Our friend that we were staying with, a drug dealer.
What's a drug dealer? What the fuck? Like hardcore drug dealer. Like we were just like bullshit.
Peeping out little sign symbols and clues.
It ain't making sense or dollars a cent,
So we'll talk about that for sure. But yeah, okay, that's a good one. That's a classic. That is a classic song.
Yeah,
that will always go down. I have maybe I'll put a link to it, but I made when Anna was applying for colleges, the one that we just talked about that's at UCLA, she's like, could you make me a mix of like hype songs so I can get hype as I'm writing my college application? I was like, please believe it, for sure. And so I made her a mix on Spotify. I think it's called like old school hype mix or something. And if DMX is on there, like, like Annie Up, MOP, like all that shit. All the shit. It's going to get you so hyped, Night. It's going to get you so hyped.
I need that.
So I'll put a link in the show notes and stuff so you guys can get a little taste of what we're talking about.
Fun time.
So yeah.
Fun time.
So DMX.
Yes, DMX. What is the name of that song? Jigga, what's my motherfucking name? Nigga, and who I'm rolling with, huh? My nigga. Niggas gonna get it right. Bitches gonna get it right. I don't know the name of it. I just know how to sing it.
That was our Rough Riders. Rough Riders album. Yeah.
It was the Anthem, I think.
Yes. Yeah. All right then, man. So that's good.
Cool. Love ya. Thank you for having me.
Hi, my name is Lilian Rivera, and I am an author, and my latest young adult novel is coming out September 15th. It's called Never Look Back. It's a retelling of the Greek myth Orpheus and Eurydice set in New York with Afro-Latino characters. It has bachata, it has Prince, it has love, it has angry spirits and goddess, and all kinds of stuff. So that's it. What's up?
And now, introducing
the Supernatural Bear Corner. Supernatural Bear. drop, shut down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how Rough Riders roll. Stop, drop, shut down, open up shop. Oh, no, that's how Rough Riders roll. Hey guys, Supernatural Bear right here. I just sang
It's called Rough Riders Anthem.
Rough Riders Anthem. Yeah, I've known that song since I was really little. Really, really little. Like like maybe a baby. Probably before I was even born. Probably.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
Yeah, it is. Well, that's all I want to say. Bye.
So there it is. That was episode 8, Word to Your Mama. Episode 02 of Relatives. Just good times, man. Just good times. It's great to laugh, especially this is a little over a week post surgery, oral surgery, and the grafting of the bovine bone. Tomorrow I go and get everything checked and make sure that my body is taking this. It's not rejecting it, because I am known and prone to reject everything that they put in my body for my health that's supposed to be okay for human consumption or cute and stuff, but my body's like, nah B. So I've been like visualizing healing, like my friend Kim was like, think of it, and I've been visualizing that the skin is going over and meshing, and it's kind of freaking me out, but here we are, kids, and I'm still over a week, and I don't want any carne asada tacos, any Korean BBQ. I don't want any of it right now. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Super big shout out to Mr. D, or as a Supernatural Bear calls him, Uncle Mr. D, Derek. He's the guy who was a little shook when Psh and I were super hyped on the fight that was happening at the water machine. I love Mr. D so much. So yeah, that was an experience. All these experiences. I just hope that you find the humor, and I don't know, like, is it as funny for you guys as it is for us? Because even in editing, dude, I was just rolling, and I was texting I was like, I'm listening to Getting Jumped. Oh, we can laugh about it now. But yeah. So I just wanted to say real quick, I was watching Finding Your Roots on PBS, and it was the fashion one with Diane von Furstenberg and Narciso Rodriguez and RuPaul. And one thing that really stood out was when DVF was talking about her mom, and her mom was an Auschwitz concentration camp survivor, and she was saying that that she was her mom's vengeance, like how she's living and the empire she's creating, and her living her life and breaking stereotypes, gender, typical women roles and all that stuff. And I was like, yes, that's what I am. I am my mom's vengeance. She was with an abusive man. I mean, abusive men just ran in her family, and it's just like, she was just trying to survive with what she had. But I'm her vengeance, and we are our ancestors' vengeance. So please get into that, step into those roles, and this is going to come out, say when, the 2021st. That means we're really super close to the end of the election, because we're already in it, folks. So, let's step into all those roles. We are our ancestors' vengeance. Let's not get it twisted. Go out there and vote on the national level, on the local level, and also let's gear up to fight, because it doesn't matter who's going to be elected in office, who's going to be in office come November 3rd, November 4th, if you will. we have a lot of work to do because shit ain't perfect, but we're doing what we can, right? So yeah, be your ancestors' vengeance and let's do this. Thanks again. Leave a review, buy something from the store, donate. Let's keep this content coming out. I have a lot of fun doing it, but it is a lot of work. And I appreciate each and every one of you for listening. So yeah, shout out to Miss Liberty and the rest of the fam. And hopefully we'll get to see you do a Skype soon now that everything's situated. But enjoy being out there in the freedom. Because it's a shit show over here, folks. Shit show over here. All right then, we reap. Word to Your Mama is owned and produced by Ritzy Periwinkle. Theme is produced by Nico Beats. And the Relatives theme is produced by Howie T Productions. As always, Word to Your Mama is brought to you by RitzyPeriwinkle.com, DorianSharp.com, and PanoplyBPO.com.